Hi there. So in this video we are going to take a look at how to create a GUI in MATLAB. So the first thing, I want you to open this MATLAB application. Once you do that, you have two ways to open GUI controls. So the first most common option for you is to go to new and then graphical user interface. So we're going to take a look at that. There are a few other shortcuts as well, but we will specifically use this so that some of the users can understand this better. So go to new and then graphical user interface. This should open one figure editor and it will first start with the wizard. As you can see, it gives you templates. First is blank, then GUI with controls, then GUI with access and menu, and then model question dialog. Then there is also open existing GUI. If you already have some of the GUI created by others or your own, then you can import through this option. Now I'm going to start with blank GUI option. I'm going to save it within its default folder. You can choose to save it on, let's say, desktop if you want. I'm simply going with that option. So let's save it, name sample.fig. Now I'm going to click on OK so that it should open that GUI editor. And as you can see, it creates one sample.m file and it also opens one sample.fig editor. As you can see, any code that we write in here applies to this sample.fig file. So we assign some action to GUI control, then it will have its code inside this sample.m. Now let's take a look at this GUI editor within MATLAB. As you can see, it has this menu bar at the top. Then you have some of the icons that are for working with your GUI. Then on the left hand side you have GUI controls. Okay, so let's just stretch this bit so that you can properly view in this video. Let me stretch workable area as well. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you control one by one. First is this arrow, which is default and just does the work of selecting the controls. Then you have buttons. This is push button, so I'm going to select this and drop it on this GUI. Then you have slider for changing the values of the control. Then you have radio button that looks something like this. Then you have checkbox and it looks something like this. Then you have single edit text and static. So both of these are different based on how they process your input text. Then you have pop-up menu and list box. So you can drop them here. So this is the list box. I can keep on adding on it simply by right clicking on it and then object browser. As you can see, it shows you the list of objects dropped on this GUI. If I want to edit its code, then I can use editor, and we have functions specific to that list box. Okay, so I can select this and delete and save it, and you'll find immediate change reflects here. Now let's take a look at a few more controls, such as toggle button, and you have table. Here you have to edit the properties, otherwise it won't be of much use. Then you have this axis and you have panel then you have button group. So if you want to group all these buttons, you can simply drop in here, and then you can simply put them into this group, and it will show you the warning in command window for which type of buttons you can input into it. So some buttons such as push and toggle won't work, but for radio you can simply drag and drop into this. Okay, so you have your radio button here and one here. So you can use button group for your radio buttons. Also you can remove this and save this. And now one more thing is to using the panel. Now you can use panel to group your list of controls that you want to use. So let's say I have these 3 controls, and I can simply drop into the panel and then arrange them. Okay, so simply use this align objects. So simply select all 3 of them and then align. You can choose vertical align, horizontal one. So I'm going to start with center align. Then for this, let's click on apply. When I click on apply, you'll find that each of the control is properly aligned and in a horizontal way. Okay, now I can move this anywhere I want and I can save this. Now you can add axis and put them somewhere here. You can increase its size if you want, or you can simply edit its values in your property inspector. So for property inspector, you can find almost every control that you drop can be changed with its name and its tag. By default, these tag names are used within your code editor here. Okay, so let me check this, and here we're going to find name which says this sample. So instead of that, I want to simply use plot types as name. Okay, so that's the name I'm using for this. Then I have this table right here. I'm going to expand a bit, and then we have panel. Now I'm going to save this, and then I'm going to execute this GUI to see how it looks when finished. I'm going to set the path for this so that it can accept my .fig and sample.m in another folder. And now here you see I have my plot, then I have the table, also the push button, checkbox and toggle button. So all of them are working, and we have to write specific code for interacting this element within our GUI. So this was a short video on how to create a GUI in MATLAB.